What's up, guys? Follow me along the journey of buying and selling a boat on Facebook Marketplace. Here's a listing of a boat that I recently purchased and sold. The whole process took about 3 days from start to finish. It was located roughly about 6.5 hours from my house in Atlanta, Georgia. So it was a bit of a journey, but totally worth it. As you can see, this listing created had a video of the boat, so I was able to see a good description of what I was getting ahead of time. That's something I usually would pay attention to. I want to basically scrutinize the video as much as I can to get as much information to see if it's going to be worth it for me. And this particular deal, the guy had it listed for $4,500, and I felt that I can offer something that was fair and managed to get a good deal in the process. So as you can see, there's a lot of pictures. The description was pretty descriptive. It had all the information needed. And when I did contact the seller, he was able to provide a lot of information for me as well. As you can see, it was in Apopka, Florida. So, like I said, about a 6.5 hour journey. And after agreeing on a price of $3,500, I decided to take the trip. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is early, and I am here on the way to go ahead and pick up this boat. Left the house around 5 o'clock today, so we're gonna go on a little journey. We're about 2 hours into it at the local Buc-ee's here in Fort Valley, I believe it is. But we're heading to Ocoee, Florida. So I just wanted to tune in with y'all, take you on a journey on a day trip on what I do. So see how that looks. See how that goes. All right, ride with me. See y'all soon. All right, thank you. See you. All right, so walking out of Buc-ee's, and dude, that place is absolutely insane. I mean, I've been there a few times, and I always leave like a kid out of a candy store. You go in for one thing, and it's like, you see all this stuff, and you're like, man, I need this, I want this. But I mainly go for the food, and today I was lucky enough to get some breakfast. So we're back at the truck. Gonna load back up and, get back on the second leg of this journey. See y'all soon. All right, you guys, so we just drove the 6 hours to get this big gal and set to go ahead and drive her back. But she's in great shape as thought. Everything seems to work fine, but she's a beaut. Definitely ready for that ride home. All right, so I'm sweating. It's like 1 o'clock, sometime around there. Just picked up the beast. As you can see, we're gonna go ahead and do that journey back home. Get ourselves back to the A. All right, we got about almost a 7 hour journey. So we're gonna go ahead and load up. I've got gas already. Everything's there. I'm sweating like crazy. It's like almost 92 degrees in Florida, if you could see that. 92 degrees. But we have a journey home. It says we'll be home around a little bit before 8. That'll go up. My guess is about 8:30, just because we're towing and it's a lot slower. So, I'll check in with y'all, make sure you see it once we get back. We'll go ahead and get this thing listed tomorrow, but so far so good. So let's go ahead, pray we get home in peace. See y'all. All right, y'all, so we are about 5 hours left on the journey, and running through just past Gainesville, heading up towards Valdosta area. And yeah, it's been a pretty eventful journey so far, going through a couple of those Florida midday storms. If you know anything about those, especially Central Florida area, usually about 1-2 o'clock, it'll start setting up to roll through pretty much gets heavy. Sometimes you can run through a band that has lightning. You know, it feels like a mini hurricane in there. But the reality is you got to push through. Just, you know, grip 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you know, stay focused, make sure the boat, you know, behind us is good. And you can see she's attached there, looking pretty well. So we have, like I say, about 5 hours left. I don't know if you can see that there, but that's what we're looking like. All right, so stay tuned. All right, and this is pretty much some of the storms that I'm talking about, where you can see that it's just, you know, pretty much gray out here. Praying that the highway takes me around this one, but it looks like we may be going through directly. But that's definitely one to keep an eye on. You know, we'll just hold on tight, but that's pretty much what we face, man. When you're doing what I do, is you got to watch out for the elements. You know, you got to watch out for the traffic, everything like that. You know, I've been on accidents, I've been through it all, and I've seen a lot. But, you know, I stay prayed up and drive as safe as I can. As you see, I'm in the furthest lane out. I always do that when I'm trailering, you know, and just ensure that you stay focused, man. All right, so stay tuned as we go through this one. All right, so it's not often you get a chance to do Buc-ee's twice in one day, but this guy was pretty lucky today so far. I happened to stop on the way down to get the boat, and on the way to get the boat, and then on the way back. So that was pretty cool. He was able to get me a nice little Sammy, one of those barbecue joints. If you know, then you know. All right, but yep, walking back to the truck now. Heading back, and we're just gonna go ahead and do the second lap. Gonna do one more tour of the boat around it and see what we got. All right, see y'all soon.
Hawks belong. Again, they put out a list of 6 tiers, and the Hawks came in a place that absolutely stunned me. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. But coming up next,
866 Nation and Hooters. Ain't no party like a Hooters party.
Local owner? Support your local business owners and entrepreneurs today at a McDonald's near you.
Don't let mosquitoes ruin your backyard fun.
So after a 7-hour ride, I was able to deliver the boat home safely. Made it actually before nightfall. And then the next day, I was able to take some clear pictures and write up a good detailed listing to create a post on Facebook Marketplace to get the boat sold. I listed it for $5,600 and pretty much wrote up everything that I knew about the boat. The pictures that I took were really detailed. I pretty much put, I think, around 21 pictures in total, and a video with the entire boat shown. So you just want to be as descriptive as possible, be upfront, don't hide anything. If there's anything wrong with the boat, state it, because generally you want to do good business. You want to make sure that whatever they're buying is pretty much what you say it is. And this craft pretty much didn't have any sort of issues, so I knew it would be an easy sell nonetheless. But $5,600 is the listed price, and it actually sold for a total of $5,400, which took about 2 days. Here's a quick view of the messaging between me and the buyer, I try to be as honest as possible. I try to make sure that they have all their questions answered, so that way they know everything about the boat by the time they pick it up. So here it is, sold for $5,400 2 days later.